go ahead. Let's dive into week 2. We have a lot to talk about, and we're going to kick things off with your boys. We got Chargers and Chiefs here.
Real quick. Yes, worst owner, Cuban. And don't throw Dinger into this.
It's a trap.
All right? I can't speak on that.
Roger.
But no, Cuban. What a great Thursday. This is like...
Let's just pivot from that.
Maybe this is me as a Chiefs homer, but this is the best game of the week, right? This is the best matchup of the week.
This is the matchup I'm looking the most forward to. There's a lot of good matchups. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good matchups, but
there's definitely a few that I'm really looking forward to. But this is the best matchup of the week.
I agree. I think you're right on that one. You got Mahomes, who is the best quarterback in the league. You got the Chiefs, who had the most dominant week 1, arguably. And you have an up-and-coming Charger team that has a lot of hype this year, Scott. There's a lot of people that have Herbert crowned as the guy that's going to, surpass Mahomes. The defense of the Chargers that's got really, really, really good. All of these factors are coming into play. There are people that have the Chargers number 2 in their power rankings preseason.
No. Oh, okay. I was like, not after week 1.
No, not after week 1. Preseason. So, we're going to go over the top, our favorite games of the week here. We have 8 games that we're going to preview. If you don't...
We actually have 9. I gave you a surprise there, Chris.
Ooh, a 9. All right, perfect.
We got 9er.
So,
9 games.
Guys, if we don't end up... So, Jim, no love to Jets-Browns?
I mean, they're not in the 9. I don't know if you saw what games we're covering somehow, Jim, on sports. Somehow you knew we weren't covering the Jets and Browns tonight. But if you want us to talk about it, let us talk about that game. We can.
We will. We will if the masses want Browns Jets, we will talk about it.
Just a Flacco versus oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name of the freaking quarterback for the Browns right now.
Oh, Brissett?
Yeah, Flacco Brissett matchup. Who doesn't want to talk about that?
Jim on Sports, he's like, nah, I'm good. All right, so I'm gonna let you break this one down, man. These are your boys. What do you see in this matchup? What do you like? Chiefs -4, by the way. That means they're favored to win this game by 4. Also, this game is 54.5 over/under, so there's gonna be some points thrown around in this one. Chiefs put up 5 touchdowns, or Mahomes put up 5 touchdowns in that first one just by himself. So there's going to be some scoring. This is in Kansas City.
Jiro already said over for days. Football wife. Thanks for gifting out the sub. STG, say thank you. Be polite with your but football wife, you were
thank you so much,
football wife. Continue just 110 gifted subs throughout the history of this channel. No big deal. Yeah, Chris, I'm excited for this game. I think this is 2 of the top 5 teams in football. No doubt about it. I think right now after week 1, I think it's pretty clear if you're ranking teams, there's 2 that have kind of separated themselves with the Bills and Chiefs, in my opinion. And then you have kind of the rest, but I think the Chargers are a top 5 team, and I would rank Herbert as probably the number 3 quarterback in the league right now. All of a sudden, like, I'm there. Like, he didn't play. He honestly, his only deficiency was he didn't play great down the stretch against the Raiders. They were up 24-10 early on in the third, and then after that, he had a 3-and-out, 18-yard drive with a missed field goal, a 3-and-out, 18-yard drive with a missed field goal, and then a 3-and-out. So there was some inconsistency to his game, and especially against the Raiders defense that I'm not sold on by any belief, but they did win that game kind of more with defense, honestly. I thought their defense balled out against a Raiders team that's not easy to guard. This game's going to be fun, Chris. I mean, 2 times they played last year, the road team won. Early on, the Chargers went to Arrowhead and won, and then the Chiefs on a Thursday night game actually last year won in overtime in a game where they got the ball first, of course, and scored in overtime. So people have to change their rules now on that, at least in the playoffs. I mean, if the Chiefs play like they did last week, Chris, I don't know that the Chargers can touch him. I just don't know how repeatable that is. The Chiefs offense was absolutely dynamite last week. 360 yards, 5 touchdowns for Mahomes. They punted the ball once when Mahomes was in, with 1 fumble along with that, and scored touchdowns on every other drive except for they kicked a field goal at the end of the half. So, I mean, obviously, biggest win differential in week 1 was on the road at Arizona for the Chiefs. That's a big win. They look great. He's a man on a mission. Andy Reid even came out and said, like, Mahomes last year was the first time, especially early on in the year when he was throwing picks, that he got a lot. He follows the media. He follows what people say. I'll say that. And that was the first time he got a lot of backlash and a lot of hate. And he was like, he took that to heart this offseason and he made himself a lot better. So an improved Mahomes. This game is just going to be a ton of fun, Chris. Do I think the Chiefs should win this game? I do. And they need to win this game. But this is an awesome game just for people to watch in general. Like, if you're fans of the sport, there's nothing better than watching these two teams. The 2 games last year were incredibly exciting. I don't expect anything less with this one. Great. As long as you guys can get it. Hopefully you have Amazon Prime. This is the first fully streaming game on Amazon Prime. Chris, I asked you, I was like, if we go to a sports bar, are they going to be able to have the game on because it's through Prime? And then I had to Google it, and I guess they signed a contract with DirecTV. So commercial use is still, if you have the DirecTV package through your bar or restaurant, you can still get the Thursday night game. They're just paying a lot of money for it. So
Rec doesn't have Prime, so I don't know how he's going to watch it.
Rec, go to a bar, I guess. You got to watch this one. This is, Thursday night games at times aren't great, but this one's incredible. I don't know. It'd be hard to debate that this isn't 2 top 5 teams right now.
Well, we looked ahead at all the games because we were figuring out which games we were going to be streaming, and there was, we're only going to be doing 3 or 4, a few over the season, right? So, with that being said, there weren't a lot of marquee matches. This might be one of the better Thursday night football games of the season, not much less the week. So, overall, this is going to be a fun one to watch. Go find a way to watch it. My thoughts on this game. This started out, the look ahead from last week when the games ended. The Chiefs were favored by 3. This ballooned to 3.5 and then 4, and now it's, I think, currently at 4.5. But that was based off of the Cardinals getting blown out, and that was an easy win for the Chiefs. But that was also Chargers surviving a close one with the Raiders, right? So those lines, were kind of coming together all at the same time. Started out at 3 and ballooned to almost 4.5 right now. So at the moment, Keenan Allen's not going to play in this game. He's ruled out. So that's a huge aspect. The minute they lost him was, I thought, a point. And Herbert and the Chargers did spread the ball around quite a bit, but they lose a lot of that explosiveness when it comes to Keenan Allen and what he can bring to this offense. So I think that's going to be a huge, huge hit for them. I think they'll still be fine. I think they'll still put up points on the board without him, but I just think they lose a little bit of their yards per play. I think they fell back down to 5, average to 5 yards per play without him in the lineup once he went out, which is still pretty good. But they're going to miss him quite a bit. I expect a lot of points in this game. I think there's going to be Herbert's going to move the ball, and I think that the Chargers will be in this game as well. In KC, though, I still love Kansas City to win this game. I didn't bet it, but Kansas City's my side here.
I didn't bet it. I usually go without emotion. And Chris, I won so much money on the Broncos game last night. I wish I'll tell you about that later. I had some parlays that hit. Everything hit.
Everything hit. There you go.
Or Monday night.
Cashing in. Let's see. What else do we have in the chat here? A
lot of Amazon talk. Football Wife keeps Amazon in business. Yep. I believe that, Football Wife. My wife does as well, though. I think there's a lot of wives out there that keep Amazon in business. We constantly have packages. I get them at the door, and I'm like, "What's this?" She's like, "I don't know." She doesn't even know what it is.
Isn't that weird? How
I have to open the box?
Isn't that weird
to know what it is?
My wife does the same thing. I'm like, "Hey, what did you order?" And she's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Did you order so many things that you don't know what it is?" That's I I know what I order. I only order like one thing on Amazon like a month, maybe.
Chris, when I order anything online, I'm literally tracking the package online constantly. I'm like, when's it coming in? When's it coming in?
Oh,
and I'm like following it, and then it gets in, and I'm like running to like the mailbox or the door
like
or
Christmas.
wherever it is.
It's like Christmas, and
for our wives, it's just like I don't know, open it.
Oh,
I'm like,
oh my
cool.
goodness.
It's soap, and I don't know.
She's like, yeah, and then you get the whole thing of, oh yeah, I remember I ordered that now, and I'm just like, what?
I have enough like body soap, Chris, to last me a lifetime. Like my wife ordered it in bulk. Like I have enough to literally. I there's no way I'm gonna die before all that's gone.
Jim, my wife
and we
also
have to store that.
My wife also keeps UPS in business with Amazon returns.
Right?
Yes.
My wife does get a lot of clothes through it, and then like send it back. Me, if I get something, I'm not sending it. Chris, it's a fault probably, but I don't send anything back. I'm like, it's not worth the effort. I'll just wear it.
Yeah.
I'll just or whatever. It's a little tight, but I'll just people can just see that I'm fat underneath this shirt.
Cornhusker,
like,
go! Welcome in, Cornhusker. Go Chiefs! Let's go.
Let's go, Cornhusker.
Y'all don't have hips, says G Girl. I mean,
technically we do, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. There's nothing special there for us. All right. So next up, let's dive into Cardinals and Raiders. Cardinals and Raiders is next here, and so this one's going to be interesting as well. Obviously, Cardinals coming off a blowout with the Kansas City Chiefs, who we just spoke about. Now, This one, all right, can I say something, Scotty? I think there's going to be a lot of overreactions from week one. I think that, this is typical every single year. People overreact over things. We saw Green Bay last year absolutely get demolished week one and come back and do well against their opponent week two. Now, there's a lot of teams that lost. The Rams lost. I mean, the Packers lost. The Broncos lost. The Colts tied. I mean, there's a lot of weird. The Niners lost. Does that mean all these teams are bad? No. I think the Cardinals is going to bounce back as well. Cardinals went up against a buzzsaw. The best quarterback, the best coach, and the best overall team, arguably, in football, which I think they are. And they just weren't ready to play a high-octane team like that. Now, I think that they will come back. I think that, that's a wake-up call for Mr. Kyler Murray, who got his payday over the offseason. He needs to come back, and I think the Cardinals wake up, and they play better against the Raiders this week. So I think this line is a little bit high when it comes to the betting side of things. I think that, Las Vegas Raiders -5.5. I mean, this was at 6 at one point, dropped down to 5.5. Now I believe it's at 4 or something, 4.5, maybe. It's fallen a little bit more. So Cardinals are getting a little bit of backing on the Vegas side, on the betting side. But I do think the Cardinals keep this one close. I didn't want to bet the money line on this one by any means. I don't know if they win this game, but I think they keep it closer than 5.5.
Yeah. Listen, I can't get over. This is my favorite car picture, maybe my favorite picture of all time in the NFL, and I love
good.
that I picked it out for this one. He's so angry, it's so dark and mysterious. Guys, go to that Thanksgiving dinner and tell me what happens when you carve the turkey instead of him, and he's really upset about it. Kyler looks a little just like indifferent over there. He's like, I don't even have time to put eye black under both my eyes.
He's like, I've been playing too much COD. I've been too much Call of Duty.
I didn't even realize it. Did I not get eye black under both eyes? I had no idea. I thought I did, but I was playing a video game with one hand, and I don't know what happened. But Carr is auditioning for WWE.
Undertaker, yeah.
Kneel before Zod, Jim on Sports says, absolutely, like, it's my favorite picture ever. I actually think this was I believe, I could be mistaken, this was a Sunday Night Football game against the Chiefs where this photo was taken. So that also makes it like my favorite photo of all time. This game, I'm a little conflicted on it. I mean, the Cardinals, you're right, got dominated. I think this line should be closer to 4.5, but I don't see a huge difference between 4.5 and 5.5 because you're not crossing any key numbers there. So I'd stay away from this game myself. Do I think the Raiders are the better team? The Raiders lost the turnover battle last week 3-0. They turned it over 3 times. The Chargers didn't turn it over at all, and only lost by 5 to a great Chargers team. I don't know. I think the Cardinals just could be in for a really, really long season. I know they ran into the buzzsaw that is my Chiefs last week, but I think the Raiders win this game. Do they cover? Maybe, maybe not, because they're not explosive yet. They still haven't figured out how to. I mean, everyone's excited about this offense. They put up 19 points last week. So I don't see them hitting 30. And in that situation, if they're sitting even at I think the Cardinals could certainly get to 20. So I think I'd lean Cardinals on spread, but I think Vegas wins this game.
I agree. Cornhusker ActionLab game night win. Code yellow. I see the Raiders winning by a field goal, says G Girl. Okay, I like it. Raiders by 6. Yep. So Squand has them covering. Welcome in, Squand. How you doing? Could be an interesting game. I think this will be I'll keep my eye on this one. This one's not like one of the worst games of the weekend, but I think this will be an interesting one.
It's a little less appealing after week 1.
Yeah.
Especially on the Cardinals side. The Raiders were. I mean, most people didn't think the Raiders were going to win last week, so.
Yeah.
And also the Cardinals, but they didn't know the Cardinals were going to lose by 100.
They lost in the playoffs by 100, and they lost their first game by 100. Also, I think G Girl said, wait until the new Call of Duty comes out, and then is there one coming out? Because if there is, that next week, I'm taking the other team. I don't care who they're playing.
There's also apparently Call of Duty has a 2x multiplier weekend where his stats also go down on those weekends. So if there's a 2-time multiplier on points or whatever you get, I don't play Call of Duty. I don't know how that works, but
come on, man.
His stats also go down across the board during those. So it doesn't even have to be a new version of the game. He just needs to be able to have a double points weekend.
Double points weekend. Come on, man.
You're making millions and $millions of football. You're worried about how good you are at Call of Duty.
There was actually
it's a weird thing.
Someone on TikTok actually was breaking down a couple plays of this last game about coverages and what to expect and making decisions at the line, and how he should have changed the play to get more protection during some of these. And these are guys that coach youth football that are these are things you teach your kids in middle school and high school. And he ended up getting sacked, massive loss on these plays. And I'm I don't know. I'm no expert in coverages or anything by any means, but these guys seem to know what they're talking about, and they teach their kids these things. It's a study thing. And obviously Kyler Murray, that's why they had that in his contract initially. You need to study, bro. Come on. That's my quarterback.
No, they removed it from the contract. So he, in fact, does not have to study, Chris.
It's my quarterback.
They pulled it after the backlash they got from being embarrassing, signing a guy to that much money who doesn't actually look at the playbook.
Come on, man. All right, next up, we got Bengals and Cowboys. Now, Cowboys, have they been on the phone this week? Have they trying to holler at some people, trying to get somebody in for quarterback? Because Dak Prescott's not going to be around for a minute. He's going to be gone with an injury. Football Wife's already scratching out those stars in the chat. Cincinnati, 7.5-point favorites here. Football Wife's Bengals are favored in this one in Dallas, and rightfully so, because they don't have a quarterback that's worth a damn right now. So at this point, you have Joe Burrow, you have all those wide receivers, you have that offensive line, which, looked there were some struggles with some turnovers in the first game with Burrow. I think some of those get corrected, but Bengals, 7.5-point favorites here, over under at 41.5. Scotty, this one seems to be pretty confidently in the Bengals side here. I don't see how the Cowboys, with the quarterback situation that they are currently in, can compete with a high-octane offense like the Cincinnati Bengals. Still 7.5 points. I don't know if I mean, I didn't bet this game. I didn't mess around with it. I just let it alone because who knows. But the Bengals should win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't touch the line just because whatever, but I do have the Bengals in a teaser. One of my picks of the week. I was 0 for 2. I was 2 for 2 on my picks, on straight up picks, and 0 for 2 on my teasers. I'm getting a teaser in there again this week, Chris, and I have the Bengals minus 1.5, taking them down 6 points from 7.5. So they just need to cover 1.5 in this game against the Cowboys with Cooper Rush, who, and I say this with full sincerity, Cooper Rush is one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in the NFL. Not just backups. Like, he's awful. He's always been awful. They don't have a backup quarterback. They didn't address it. They kind of did that one season with Andy Dalton, but that still didn't work out. He's so bad, Chris. He's so bad. And I just don't see, like, the only way the Cowboys hang here is they need to create a lot of turnovers, which they did better than any defense last year, but didn't do in week 1. But they have Parsons, they have Diggs, they have the capability. But the last time Diggs and Jamar Chase face each other in college, Chris, with Alabama and LSU, Jamar Chase had a heyday of a day. Like, he dominated Diggs. Listen, I hope this can be a competitive game. I don't expect it to be overly competitive. I think the Bengals bounce back if they don't turn the ball over. Now, the one thing about the Bengals is you have Micah Parsons, in my mind, might be the best pass rusher right now in the NFL against an offensive line of the Bengals that we all said, like, they did things to change their offensive line. In week 1, didn't look better, Chris. Didn't look better at all. Might have been worse. Now, maybe, I mean, it's just 1 week. There's time, football wife. Don't panic. I'm sure you're not. There's time for this continuity, and these guys have done it before, but it was bad week 1 against that Steelers defense. So that's the big concern. Cowboys are gonna literally, if Cincy does not turn over the ball, they cover this spread.
It's easy, yeah. And a couple things. Cooper Rush is horrible. So a couple of people are like 41.5. Double Doc says over under. Wow. I mean, honestly, I question whether or not the Cowboys will be able to score anything.
Yeah, I like the under. I should have bet the under. I love the under in the Cowboys Bucks game, which would have hit regardless on Dak getting that injury. I mean, there was 1 touchdown scored in that game. So
Cooper Rush can't be worse than Jordan Love, says Milwaukee's.
Jordan Love is way better than Cooper Rush. Actually, 10 times better. Milwaukee, that's your dude. Like,
that's your guy. That's your quarterback.
Did you see, like, Aaron Rodgers was in this weird interview with, like, I don't know if it was a Barstool guy or whatever, but they were like,
I saw that interview too.
Explain to me what insurance is. That's just like protecting yourself in case something happens. And he's like, or they're basically like, Aaron Rodgers, do you have insurance? He's like, yeah, I have State Farm. Obviously, he's a sponsor and markets for him. And they're like, oh, so insurance is kind of like picking a quarterback in the first round to protect yourself in case injury happens. It was awesome.
Those Barstool interviews with Aaron Rodgers are like gold. They're money. It's so good. So yeah, I love it. So here we go. Panic, Cincinnati panic, says Jim on Sports. Ooh, okay. I mean, not in this game.
Joey B throwing the Watt a few times didn't help. Yeah, no, it was not. And obviously, Joey B had the whole issue with what was it, pancreas? What was it? It was something in his abdomen area.
Yeah. So one of those organs.
He was out for a lot of preseason. Appendix. Do a lot. Appendix. That makes a lot more sense than pancreas. I'm so dumb.
It's like your gallbladder. You could have said anything.
What was it? His stomach, his large intestine. They removed that. No. So appendix. So he didn't have a lot of practice time. Maybe this will help him out. But yeah, the Cowboys all of a sudden are like, it'd be shocking with Dak being out this long if they're not going to make the playoffs, Chris. They're not.
No, and my pick of them making the playoffs over the Saints is looking worse and worse.
Yeah, the Saints aren't making it either.
I mean,
although I like the Saints this week because they're playing Tampa.
I do like them too. Let's go ahead. Let's move on. We got my Broncos against the Texans. Now, this game, you have it at 10. It was at 9.5 this morning when I put in my bet, and I don't know if it crept back up to 10 when you created these or not. But
I always saw it at 10, Chris. I think you're cheating.
And every time I see this graphic of Davis Mills, I'm like, that's got to be photoshopped. Like, is that photoshopped?
It's not.
That is his actual picture. Like, it's so strange. I'm just like, that can't be a real picture.
He'd actually, with a normal size neck, he'd be 5'10", but instead he's like 6'4".
I mean, if his neck was spread, it would be a 15-point spread at this point. It would be massive.
At least they have a quarterback that can see over the line, Chris, with that neck.
He can see over the line because he's a giraffe. Because he doesn't even need to like peek. He just like is automatically up there.
If I was a D lineman, I would just hold up like some like leaves or whatever, and he might start eating them as he's dropping back. I don't know.
How's the weather up there? Says Rec. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Take Houston on the spread, Mayday. I'm going to do the opposite. Welcome in, Mayday. I think the Broncos I think they cover this spread here. I have it. I got it at 9.5. So I like the Broncos here. I think this is a week where a lot of teams bounce back, and the Broncos had a lot that was just wrong in week one. A lot of coaching errors, a lot of everything happened in week one. Now, with that being said, they left 2 touchdowns on the field, right? They goal line. If they punch those in, that game doesn't even come down to any last minute field goals.
Ifs and buts, but sure.
Sure. But yeah, no, like, you look back at those plays, you fix them, you correct them, you get better. They're at home. This is Russell Wilson's home debut. The Broncos' home field advantage is going to be in play here. We have a great home field here in Denver. I think that's going to play a big part. I still, even with the Texans doing what they did week one, tying, right? I think that they're fine, but I don't think that they have enough here. I think the Broncos roll in this one. I think they roll big. I have them to win this game by at least 10. I mean, I feel like this is a coverable game, and I think they win this game just fine.
Oh, Football Wife makes a good point. Can you imagine that neck with Peyton Manning's forehead? I mean, that would actually... Then we'd start to talk about alien life form being present here on Earth, Chris. I mean, that's not human.
If we
that neck with Peyton's 5 head, I mean, come on. Come on. That would... Oh, my goodness. That's disturbing to think about.
No. Can you take the attributes of like some of the most famous players that have like weird things going on? You got the forehead, you got the neck here.
Mahomes' voice.
Oh no.
I mean, then we know it's an alien. Like, there's zero doubt at that point that we're like, all right, what planet are you from?
Come on, man.
All right. Where did you come from, and did you abduct anyone? And then on your way here,
the eyeshadow stuff for Carr, throw that in there too. Oh, you can make a hell of a weird looking player with like that whole. It's great.
I don't know, your head coach's brain, Nathaniel Hackett's brain. You'd be like, that dude doesn't know how Earth works, so he's clearly an alien. Certainly doesn't know the game of football, Chris. I wanted to feature. I did that just for you. I picked a picture out of Nathaniel Hackett to feature with the Broncos this week.
I figured. Texans, you're going to beating the Broncos by 24. No shot. Not by 24. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen by like a little bit. But Mike Glennon says Money Magic. Peyton Manning was hurting his day of birth, says G Girl. Matt Castle, Tomlin's bullfrog eyes.
That was Sam Castle, Chris. Sam Castle. I'm sorry. Sam Cassell. The former basketball player.
Yeah. Love Sam.
Who was alien-like. No doubt about it.
It's called cosplay, gentlemen. Yeah. So
Is that cosplay? I've always said it's cosplay. Is it how do you pronounce that? Someone help me. I don't even know. I'm an idiot. I'm so dumb.
Texans will win, taking the Broncos down 3. No shot. So
cosplay. Got it. That sounds weird though. I don't even like saying that out loud.
So Scotty,
cosplay.
I'm dead.
That sounds stupid.
What do you got on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the Broncos are going to come out wanting to prove the world wrong after that embarrassing Monday night defeat. But it is a short week for them. You have a Houston team that played pretty well for 3 quarters in their opening week against the Colts before being a dumpster fire in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
I think personally this Texans team is a little better than what people thought. Now that doesn't make them good. They're still a bottom 6 or 7 team in the league, probably, putting it generously. But should the Broncos win this game? Yes. Do they cover 10? There's an interesting stat that I've known in prior years, Chris, where the Broncos at home in the first few weeks of the year dominate and cover based off of the adjustment to altitude, especially early on in the year where the road players especially aren't in as good of shape, where they're just not prepared for the altitude and the adjustment that entails. So the Broncos in like weeks 1 through 3 historically at home cover, not only win, but also cover at a very high clip. That's why I don't have a great feeling on this game. At 9.5, I still wouldn't bet it, but I like it a lot more at 9.5 than I do 10. I don't know. I think the Broncos should win this game, need to win this game. They must win. Like,
if they lose this game,
I will be on the floor. If they lose this game,
laughing, I don't know what I will do.
I will be laughing. It like almost more than a Chiefs win. Almost more than a Chiefs win tomorrow. Like a Broncos loss would almost be better.
If they lose this game, I'm not even gonna say I'm not even gonna say anything crazy because
you know how I want them to win this game, Chris. I want to win this game when they're like down. I don't know, let's say 1 point late, Chris, and they bring out McManus for a 64-yard field goal, and he makes it. How funny would that be? Let's do that. Let's role play. Let's cosplay. Is that the right term? Am I using that right?
Cosplay.
I'm still mad that it's cosplay. It should be cosplay. Okay.
Sherman says, I want them to win with a 64-yard field goal. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Roger.
How perfect would that be? And then all the haters can stop hating on your genius football coach who elected to make the right choice and kick a 64-yarder.
Oh my goodness. G Girl's dying over here. I hope you guys enjoy all of our crazy just shit that we do on this show. I predict another 2020 ties so that we have an 0-2 Houston team. Let's see.
If the Broncos lose, you must shave the left half of the beard and come to stream with half the beard.
If they lose? Okay.
That's talking about you, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Cosplay.
I still think it's cosplay. Even the guy that reads bits off doesn't get it. Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very phonetically accurate, Chris. And that does not say cosplay. Okay, not even close.
Chairman, come on, man. If Houston loses, it will take Mills 3 days to swallow his pride. Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh my goodness.
It's a deep swallow there, though. All right.
Let's move on.
Let's get to another game, Chris.
Come on. Football wife. And if KC loses, Scotty has to.
Well, we're playing a great football team. Okay, football wife. But throw something out there. Maybe I'll agree to it. I don't know.
Breaking news. Hackett just tried to call another timeout.
All right, we're gonna take a break. Hackett called the timeout. It's meaningless. We moved on to the next game. That game was already over. But Hackett, that's when he likes to use his timeouts. 62 of them. If you're Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is still calling for timeouts, and Hackett is still executing with the referee on the field. Can I still get a timeout right now? Right, like it's 2 days after the game, but I still want that timeout. Let's go.
So Chris, I'm gonna sound even dumber right here, and I think I didn't want to say it earlier because I'm gonna embarrass myself even more. But I'm so far removed from this world. Cosplay, okay? Is that where you just like dress up as like a character?
Yeah, it's dressing up as a character for like, when you go to Comic-Con or something and you dress up as like Wolverine or your favorite Marvel characters or your favorite comic book or your favorite cartoon. It's
Girl, you guys should cosplay with the coaches, LOL. Last year for Halloween, I dressed up as Urban Meyer, Chris.
You did.
Remember that?
You did.
So I cosplayed. I'm going to say cosplay. I cosplayed Urban Meyer last year for Halloween. Yeah.
That's right. Oh,
I sure did.
Fun fact.
I sure did.
Oh, Reckoning, this dates you. Fun fact. First stream I was on was Scotty cosplaying as Urban Meyer. There you go.
Yeah,
the rest is history. We somehow kept Reckoning in to be our moderator after that stream. We must have really
he agreed to do it after that stream, and we're like, we'll take. No, I'm just kidding, Rec. You're great.
Slap Scotty.
How Scotty got away with that and not get in trouble is beyond me. Oh, get in trouble, guys! I was cosplaying. Okay, it was for fun. I had a Jaguars logo. I had a headset. What did I have? Did I have like a? I felt like I had like a female like on my shoulder.
You had a Barbie doll dancing.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's so inappropriate.
Oh, it's so inappropriate.
So great.
Oh my goodness. That's where we're at. All right. So Dolphins Ravens, by the way. Dolphins Ravens.
Is there more football action?
There's more football action. Yeah. And we have a matchup here with Lamar Jackson and your boy Tyreek Hill, who's been doing a lot of chattering. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins got a nice win against the New England Patriots on week 1. The Ravens had a nice cakewalk on that first week as well. So both teams won week 1. Obviously, Ravens lost Kyle Fuller and Juwan James, though. They're kind of dealing with some things over there. The Ravens have been plagued with early season injuries last year and this year. So, obviously the Ravens are still a better team than a lot of the other teams in the AFC. But hey, thank you so much for Football Wife gifting out a sub to Broncos. There you go. Thank you, Football Wife, for the support, guys. Hey, if you guys are chilling around having a good time and you want to link up your Amazon Prime, you can help Football Wife out and join in on some of the sub action. Let's go.
Broncos, by the way, reached out to me in Discord recently, or just earlier before the show. Broncos, I got you for sure. I'll send you I'll send you that probably tomorrow.
All right. So here's the thing.
That was discreet, but no big deal.
Very. You guys got deals going on the side.
Side deals with Broncos.
So
he wants to change his name to the Chiefs.
No, don't do it, Broncos. Don't ever do anything like that. Deal. So I have the Ravens here. -3.5 is the line, and 44.5 is the over/under on the total points between these two teams. I like the Ravens in this one in Baltimore, even given some of the issues with there's some injury issues, and I get that. Dolphins have a revamped offense. I just think that this is going to be a close game. I didn't bet this one because I don't know. This is a weird one for me, and I think it's a fascinating one for me. If I'm leaning anything, I'm leaning Ravens at home, but I don't feel great about it.
Chris, I bet this one, right?
You have the over-under, I believe.
I got the under. Yeah. I was between a few games on this one. I think I was just making sure before talking about it here, guys. I like the under here a lot. I don't think either of these offenses are. I think everyone looks at the Dolphins as like the sexy new offense, but they didn't exactly tear it up last week against a New England defense that I'm not sure is historically like other New England defenses. They're aging, they're older, they're slow, they're not that talented. And one of their touchdowns was on like a 4th down play that Waddle caught and then broke for a touchdown. Baltimore, I know the final score was like 24-9 or whatever it was in week 1 against the Jets, who were starting Joe Flacco. But you actually look at that game and the stats, and it's kind of like I mean, Baltimore put up 274 yards in that game. The Jets put up 380, Chris. Like, the Jets were probably the better team. They were just the dumber team. Baltimore's offense looked awful against a Jets defense that's not good at all. I think Baltimore's very, very overrated at this point.
Do you think the contract has anything to do with some of the play by Lamar Jackson? Do you think that's on his mind?
Well, if anything, that should make him be more focused and
You
play
would
better.
think.
If you're in the final year of your contract, you want to ball out in order to get paid that next offseason. And he did not ball out, in my estimation, in week 1. They had the first downs were 24-13. Jets had 24 first downs. The Baltimore Ravens had 13 first downs in that game, Chris. Like, I know you look at the score and you're like, okay. I also like Miami against the line, 3.5. I definitely also want to take Miami. I'm just not totally sold on Miami's offense, and that's why I stayed away from it. And that's why I'm taking the under in this one. I think this literally finishes a lot closer to like 37 total points, like a 2017 game, something like that. I don't think either of these offenses move the ball a lot. I think it's a pretty boring game to watch. I'm super intrigued, and I think this is a matchup of two teams potentially battling in the playoffs in the AFC. So I think it's a fun matchup in that regard. I just don't think it's going to be high scoring, Chris.
Hey, Old Man Burger, how we doing? Good evening. Hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Hey, guys, we have people popping in and out all night long. Hope you guys are having a good time with the stream. If you are, hit that follow button again. If you're new to the show, my name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your host for the Action Lab, live every Wednesday and Sunday night for Sunday Night Football. So make sure you join in. Hit that follow button.
Chris, sorry.
Go ahead.
We're down to one mod. Devil Doc's our only mod. Reckoning said I'm close to cosplaying Andy Reid at this point. But I think it was my facial hair. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on, but Reckoning is officially removed as a mod from this point forward. It was a good run, Rec. Thanks a lot for all you've done, but how dare you?
Oh, no.
How dare you?
Oh, man. There it is. Well, it was nice knowing you, Rec. We missed you. We love you. Dobbins is almost ready to play. I hope. Well, I mean, he was limping going into week 1. I don't know if he's ready. I was looking at that too, and
it'll take, even when he's ready, it'll take time. He's not going to be anything special. All right. The first week he's back, he destroyed that leg. Like, it's come out like he ACL, LCL, MCL, like torn like muscle. Like, there was so many things that happened to that leg. He's not going to be, but you like cheeseburgers, Rec? Devil Doc, can you ban Rec?
No,
I'm just kidding. Don't ban him.
don't ban him. We love you, Rec. So anyways, all right, on to this one. This is all right, so we talked about the Chiefs and the Chargers being one of the better matchups this weekend. This one's a fascinating matchup. I can't wait for this one. A Monday nighter here. Vikings at Eagles, both teams with very high expectations. The Eagles projected to win. A lot of people have the Eagles winning that division, especially with the Cowboys kind of falling off, with being the only challengers that we thought were going to be in that division. The Minnesota Vikings is who we had winning their division. Both teams very explosive offensive weapons, and both teams with, some up and coming defenses with it, think that they can, perform at a high level this year. Over under 50.5. I think this game is just an interesting one from the fact that the over under just screams out to me. Like, if this one, I could see a lot of points in this one based off of the offensive weapons. I think what gives me more lean towards the over in this one is the Eagles gave up a lot of points to the Lions. A lot. And this offense is better than the Lions. So with that being said, I see a back and forth game. I see a lot of points going up on the board. I think that the Vikings will need to get some pass rush going on Jalen Hurts. And I think Hurts is mobile enough to kind of evade some of those too. I think he is able to put some points on the board. I can't wait for this one, man. I think this is going to be a fun one. Vikings in the under. So the weird thing with this one is if this creeps up, if people start betting a lot on the over this one. Obviously, it's going to go to 51.5, 52.5, whatever, 52 maybe. I think it could close around 52. At that point, maybe the under looks a little bit better. I think maybe these defenses can hold each other a little bit more, but I don't know, man. This is I didn't bet this one on any front, just because I think I just want to watch this one and be entertained and not have any dog in the fight. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. This is my second favorite game of the weekend. This is a Monday nighter, right? There's two Monday night
games. This is one of them,
which is bizarre. Like normally they start week 1 with 2 Monday nighters. This year they do it week 2. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I think it opens up. We'll get into the Bills-Titans game here briefly, and this one starts like only an hour and a half later. So both games will be, for a good portion on at the same time. So you got to pick and choose, Chris. This one I think is going to be a ton of fun. I'm excited to see that these are two of the up and coming teams. We both love these teams coming into the season. Yep. They both obviously got big wins in week 1. I know the Eagles, only ended up winning by 3, but they were up a lot more, for a lot of that game before Detroit came back. The Vikings looked phenomenal against that Packers team. So I'm excited for this one. Do I have a strong feeling? I lean Vikings. Give me the points with a Vikings team that on a neutral, I think is probably a little better right now than the Eagles. But then you have Primetime Kirk. I can't bet on Primetime Kirk. Primetime Kirk is a dumpster fire at times. Kirk Cousins, that is, doesn't always show up in primetime.
I think that changes this year. I think that,
he was 0-7, and then he's won his last 2. So he's now 2-7, which is still not good, but he is on a 2-game winning streak after losing his first 7. So I agree. I think the Vikings are the better team. You're right. I wanted to enjoy this game. I didn't want to have a dog in the race. I'm high on both these teams moving forward. I think the Eagles have more room to improve, but I think the Vikings right now are the better team. So I'd lean Vikings.
Yeah, I love both these teams. I think they're very dynamic in a lot of ways. There was another stat that I saw too, as far as this is the first time Kirk Cousins has had a team where they didn't allow more than 7 points or something along those lines, like minimal points. The defense helped him out enough. And if that defense can help him out all season long, that's something he's not used to having in his career. It doesn't happen very often for him. So this could be a big year for them. We already predicted it. I can't wait to see how this ends up panning out. But come on, Daddy Cousins, says G Girl. 24.
That's your daddy?
24-27 would be the over, 50.5. So no brainer for me, says Money Magic.
Yeah, Money Magic liked the over, and Squan followed with the under. I would probably lean over here.
I would lean over at this point. If it goes up a couple points, I think I switch I switch to the under. It's just yeah. I can't find the Halloween clip, says G Girl.
I don't know if we go that far back. I don't know if we made a clip of it.
We might not have. It
might be gone forever. But it occurred.
Merciless is eating his popcorn. Broncos offensive play caller. The Chiefs definitely understands what kind of QB they have. Should be great game tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, we have good coaching.
By the way, guys, for all of you guys that are local, would you be? Maybe we could get a poll in the chat for anyone. I guess this is a very maybe I just put it in the Discord. Never mind. We might try to do something local here in Colorado and go watch the game somewhere. We don't know, but if you guys would be interested in that, hit us up in the Discord. How about that? And we'll try to figure out a spot. Maybe Scotty and I can meet up and we can watch that game. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And apparently G Girl has a ton of daddies, according to Devil Doc.
Oh.
Which G Girl then confirmed.
I see. Huh. Interesting.
Good for you. Dads are great. Dads are the best.
I have a sweet dad. You have a pretty cool dad.
I'm a pretty cool dad.
You're a pretty cool dad. Yeah. Happy Father's
Day is a confusing day for her. That's okay. Mahomes is everyone else's daddy, not mine. G-girl.
Oh man, here we go.
Everyone else's daddy.
Next up on the docket here, we got the Patriots and the Steelers. Patriots obviously didn't look too well against the Dolphins, who we already talked about. Steelers ended up looking good. With all being said, they ended up winning that first game. Crazy shootout with. Go ahead.
I'm gonna code yellow it while you
spam code yellow in the chat for Scotty A. Smith while he goes and takes care of business. But the Steelers, this is an interesting one in the sense that New England's coming off that loss, the Steelers coming off that win. I think that this one's going to be interesting in the fact that this one will miss Watt. I think TJ is going to be out, right? We're gonna miss him. That's a big blow. I think that's a big part of their. I mean, the Steelers are always good. Like, they're always baseline good, and you couldn't find one New England player, so you picture the coach. That's because there's nobody on that team that just is exciting enough to put here outside of Darth Vader here. So realistically, that's what we went with. That's what Scotty put in here. So, Scotty knows what's up. So that's the storyline here, but I think the Steelers have a couple injuries that they're battling through, which is why I think this line is as close as it is. Otherwise, if there's no major issues with the injuries, I think that this Steelers in Pittsburgh are the favorites in this one. But Patriots, let me throw this stat out there too. The Patriots under Bill Belichick have not started the season 0-2 since 2001. They won the Super Bowl that year, by the way, which they won't do this year. But Bill Belichick doesn't start 0-2 very often, if not ever. So I think that there will be a little bit of a bounce back here. And, I think the Patriots will keep this one close. The Steelers, again, I think they lose a couple points for me with the season-ending injury to TJ. So yeah,
not season-ending, but out for a while.
So it's gonna be. I just mentioned the stat of Bill Belichick hasn't gone 0-2 since 2001 to start the season. So I think
are they talking about my room or whose room?
What are we talking about?
G-Girl and Football Wife are talking about decorating a room.
You mean that
lovely one picture?
That lone
that's usually
picture
covered by my giant head. Guys, I have a lot of things I could put up there, but then I'd have to take them down every time. Okay, it'd be exhausting.
Maybe we just get
the focus should be my face. Okay.
Come on, man. Should we just get a studio? We need to just do we make enough money on this show to get a studio?
No.
Come on, man.
No, we don't.
Come on,
no,
man.
we don't, Chris.
Come on. Yeah. So
I get it, guys. All right, but just focus here. Okay. Reckoning's like, no, it should not. Rec, I'm about to dive into this game, and it's not going to be pretty. Okay.
I lean Patriots if I'm going to bet this one based off of just the uncertainties, but
bruh. Look at this dude.
Yes.
Well, let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice.
Say something nice about Nathaniel Hackett. It can only go up from here. That's what I'll say nice about Nathaniel Hackett. It can only get better.
He knows the rap game pretty well, from what I've heard.
By the way, the sound effect really helps to figure out what we need to say, positive versus negative on that. So, yeah.
I didn't even know we had that sound effect.
I added it last week, so we have the negative and positive sound effect now for the.
Wait, am I naked, Football Wife? Wearing clothes? No, I double checked.
Bruh.
I got clothes on.
So dive into Patriots Steelers.
Yeah, I'd rather. Not this, Chris. If there was ever a game that I could that no one needed to air, this would be it. This is gonna be an awful football game to watch.
Reckoning and Devil Doctor,
except for those guys that are like, oh, we like hardcore defense. No, this is not hardcore defense. This is shitty offense. Okay, the Steelers won a game in which they won the turnover battle by 5. In overtime because the Bengals didn't have a long snapper. Okay? No offense, Rack. You gotta win, and I'm happy you did because like the Steelers are not a threat. Their offense is so bad, and the Patriots might be worse. The Patriots scored 1 touchdown, and their touchdown came on a drive where they got a 4th down penalty on, which was a bullshit call. The Patriots should have been shut out last week. Chris, you questioned me. I drafted Miami off the top for my fantasy league, and you question, you're like, oh, I don't know about that. That Miami pick's weird. I'm like, they're playing the Patriots. Who was right? Who was right?
Yeah.
I was.
Well,
Patriots offense sucks. This game is the 1st to 10, Chris. This is a battle of who gets to double digits first. Okay? No one wants to watch this game. It's going to be an abomination to the league. They shouldn't televise it. Honestly, this is the least attractive game in the league this year. I said this year, I meant this week, but possibly the whole season, Chris. No one wants to watch it. And then they pan to the sideline, and we got to see that guy's face. Okay? I don't want to see Belichick's face.
I'm crying at some of these things. What casually average? What is Minka Fitzpatrick swallowing in that photo? I'm very concerned right now. And then, why are you looking at his mouth? Says Devil Doc. The beard long enough to dye orange and blue on a bet? Maybe eventually.
I'm not doing that. I will not agree to a bet to dye orange.
So mean.
Don't say anything at all about Bill Belichick. He is. So we got to say something bad about Bill Belichick. So mean.
I already did. I hit his face.
I want him out of the league. Is what I want. Like he won't make another. I'm diving in on that hot take. He's not going to make the playoffs again into the rest of his career. He's done.
I mean, he's the supposed smartest coach in the league and a genius is letting Matt Patricia call offensive plays. Now we have to reboot everything. We got to question whether Belichick knows what the fuck he's doing at any moment because he's allowing Matt Patricia, and I'll say this again, to call offensive plays. Okay? He was only a defensive coordinator before joining the Lions, a dumpster fire head coach of the Lions. And now he's going back and calling offense?
It's only a game.
I have to be mad right now, Squan, because I hate his face and I hate his overrated person. Joe Judge is just as bad. Joe Judge and Matt Patricia are both back on the Patriots, and that's also why they suck and why Bill Belichick sucks. Fired up.
Scotty's like, hey, my eyes are up here, by the way. There's Broncos. Because I pay attention when someone looks like they're shouting at me. That or eating something purple, says Casually Average. Yeah, Joe Judge. Hashtag Lockjaw. Hot take. All right, so yeah, there we go. Patriots Steelers. Probably not one of the more
worst game ever. I also think it's a weird line, which is why I think New England probably wins this game. It's because the line's so weird after how bad the Patriots looked in week 1.
Yeah. And with the injury news too. Like there's a lot of weird things going on with this. I didn't mess around with this one.
G girl, his pants look nice. This is no longer a G-rated show, apparently.
All right, we're changing the show. Now we're G-rated. We're Disney style here with this old man from Tampa Bay. All right. You want to talk about some interesting game? You want to talk about an interesting matchup that has been owned by one side, and that is the Saints? It's the Saints-Buccaneers matchup. Dating back last 4 years. So Tom Brady hasn't been able to beat the Saints at all. This is
did in the postseason, to be fair.
In the postseason once. But like regular season-wise, not a lot of success here. So this is a terrible matchup. Bucs have committed 36 turnovers over the last 2 seasons. 11 of them were to the Saints. It's just, they just don't play well. A little less than a third of those turnovers are to one team. That was a top-notch offense, right? When it came to, when they were last year, they had a lot going on with them. Now they're inferior offensive. They don't have offensive line issues. They do have offensive line issues a little bit more than they're used to. They're down Godwin. Their D didn't play as they're fine. I just don't know if they're going to be able to continue that to this week. Jarvis Landry looks like a new man. There's a lot of offensive weapons in New Orleans. I just think that this one again is this is 2.5 favorite at New Orleans for the Buccaneers. the Saints own the Buccaneers, and the Saints were doing this with like a tight end at quarterback. Scotty, they beat the
Jameis could probably line up at tight end. Don't ask him to block, but he's big enough.
Like, is that a real pick of Brady? Wow, yeah, this is a real pick. This was taken yesterday. Yesterday at practice, this was taken.
That is him. He did not practice today. Although I'm going to get into the injury report actually in a second for the Bucs, Chris. Super interesting.
Chad, unstoppable. Welcome in. First time. Let's welcome in Chad. Hey, Chad, who's your team and where are you from? We like to get to know you a little bit. Welcome. I wonder why there are 2 Monday games on next week.
I asked that question.
We said that earlier. Yeah, we're
usually week 1. Why they did week 2 this year? I honestly don't know. All I know is I did hear today Buffalo's in the early game. It's a home game, so they're letting out students at like 10 a.m. from their school in Buffalo near the stadium. And they say it's because of traffic issues, but really they just care more about their football team than education out there, which I'm all in on. I fully support. Chris, Bucs injury report today. QB, Tom Brady, did not participate, not injury related, but kind of injury related. He's just trying to mend a marriage, Chris. Things are not great with Giselle. Giselle's not happy that he's playing this season. She feels like she sacrificed a lot of her life, and Tom hasn't done the same. Wide receiver Mike Evans, calf, limited participant. Leonard Fournette, hamstring, limited participant. Russell Gage, hamstring, did not participate. Chris Godwin, hamstring, did not participate. Julio Jones, knee, did not participate. Zion McCollum, hamstring, did not participate. Brashad Perriman, knee, limited participant. Left tackle Donovan Smith, elbow, did not participate. Right tackle Tristan Wirth, abdomen, limited participant. This is week 2, Chris. This team is a mess.
It's week 2.
They're a mess.
Oh,
no. Tom isn't even allowed to be around the team because his wife's yelling at him at home. And then you have all these guys getting hurt, and you're going into this matchup against a team that kind of has owned you, even when you're much better than them altogether. I think the Saints win this again. I think the Saints beat the Bucs again. The Buccaneers are a dumpster fire right now a little bit. Like, everyone's saying the Bucs like look good. I know they held the Cowboys to 3, but like, I don't know. I think I could have put together you and I and like some of our followers, Chris. We might have held the Cowboys to 3 on Sunday night. I know the Bucs are highly thought of. I just think right now they're not there. At the end of the season, I'm sure they'll be in the mix. I get that, but right now I just don't see it. I think the Saints win this game. I think Jameis Winston feels some pain. Did you see that interview? They're like, what's the pain? He's like, yeah, pain everywhere. But and Michael Thomas is just there, just like nodding, like, fuck.
Jameis Winston has the weirdest press. Did you see the one where he was like, oh, our bodies are symmetrical. Like my shoulders are like knee, or like my elbows are like my knees, and my shoulders are like my hips. And that's how our bodies are with symmetrical.
Is he cosplaying with his knees and elbows?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna continue to call it cosplaying.
And then he's
Chris.
like, my hands are like opposite of my feet. Like, he's like, our bodies. Like, I'm just like, what are you doing? This is like, and he has that one last year where he has some weird. He does it on purpose, but I'm just like. I like it, but it's like such a strange thing, and I mean I like it. I'm here for it, but
Cuban, when your leader is going through it, the whole team has blue balls. Yeah. I don't even know if Brady at this age, look at that photo, his balls even work anymore. But it's a weird. We've never seen this with like a quarterback that's like, I can't be around that much because my wife is yelling at me a lot. To be home more.
No, here. So I want to play this clip real quick, and you won't be able to hear this, Scotty, but it's a Jameis Winston thing where he's like anatomy lesson from Jameis Winston. Go ahead and let's listen to this real quick.
I learned so much about my body when I had the ACL, just the importance of other parts of your body being overcompensated because you're overusing something else. So just a holistic body, everything about your body, you have to be able to work certain things. Just because my knee hurting, that doesn't mean that I need to work my knee. I need to work my hips, right? I need to work my ankles. And you got certain things that we're all like, our body is so symmetrical, right? You got your wrists, you know, and then what are your wrists on the bottom half? Your ankles, you know, you got your shoulders up top. What are your shoulders? Your hips, you know what I'm saying? You got your elbows. What are your elbows? Your knees, right? Like, so it's symmetrical, and you just got to.
There it is. Yeah, you're symmetrical. When you get your hips, you got your knees, you got your elbows, got your knees, you got your hands, got your feet. You know, like that. He's just an enigma, right?
That's a franchise QB for sure. For sure. I don't think the Broncos say no if the Saints offer Jameis for Russell straight up right now. I think they're like, all right, let's do this. Let's do the damn thing.
Money magic, the legs both connected to the foot bone. The foot bone connected to the toe bone. I don't know, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about here. So Saints own the Buccaneers here, and that's what I lean Saints, you lean Saints. I didn't bet it, but that's what I think the Saints win this game.
Yep. I'm there.
Right in the middle of that. You know what I mean? Says yeah. Hi-yo. Brady's balls haven't worked since people been caught deflating his balls, says Chad.
Yeah. I don't think he's used them at all.
No.
They're done. They're done for. You get to that age, you know?
They barely beat the Falcons, so I have Bucks. Yeah, it's just
don't play that game, G girl.
Don't
play that game.
Don't do it. I'm telling you, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yep. Don't play they barely beat this team, so they're gonna not win against this team. It's a dangerous game to play.
So Titans
Falcons might be good. Mariota's gonna be better than you guys think. I'm all on board with Mariota. I also have a buddy who's
what do we got, Rick?
#1 Mariota fan in the world.
Where did turkey come from? It oozed out of Greece.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There you go.
Roger.
Titans are in trouble, says B-Dub. What's up, B-Dub? How are we doing, my friend? I saw you early in the chat. Welcome back in. B-Dub got says the Titans are in trouble, and I think you're right as well. Buffalo, 10-point favorites here. Buffalo is one of the best teams in the league. Just put it out there.
Bold, Chris.
Bold.
No one else is picking Buffalo.
Nobody. No, I'm the only one. And they're gonna do well. There's a 10-point spread here. This is in Buffalo, so this is the first chance the Bills Mafia home stadiums get to break some tables and light some things on fire, and they're gonna go full out in this one to welcome in the Titans. I think this home field advantage is going to be pretty substantial here for the Bills, even though we've mentioned that there's only a handful of true home fields around the NFL. I think Lambeau's one. I think Denver's one with the altitude. I think, there's a handful of them out there. Bills, I feel like, are starting to get to a point a little bit more with the hype that they've had, the following. I just think that this one is going to be a very big game for the Buffalo Bills, and I think that they'll perform pretty well at home. I don't know if they cover. I think that 10 is still a high number in the NFL from week to week, but I think the Bills should be good enough to at least cover this, but I'm not betting it.
I mean, looking at everyone in the chat, everyone's just like, the Titans are going to lose by 1 million in the chat. And listen, I think the Bills are phenomenal. I think them and the Chiefs have separated themselves from the rest of the league. I get that, but part of me is seeing all these people say that. I'm like, maybe I should be on the Titans in this game, because if the whole world thinks the Bills are going to cover this 10, guess what? They probably won't. That said, I can't bet it. I mean, the Titans obviously lost at home. I was down on the Titans going into the season, lost at home to the Giants in week 1 with the missed field goal at the end. But they're just a team that I'm not high on this year. You go into Buffalo. Buffalo gets the extra time to prep for this game after the Thursday night in week 1. Raring to go with their first home game off a big win against the Super Bowl champs. Like, everything says Buffalo kills it in this game. I just can't pull the trigger on that. I mean, the Buffalo is going to win this game. I'd be shocked if they don't. But Do they cover the 10? Part of me thinks somehow they don't. Like maybe a weird backdoor cover or something, but like, I think this game is going to be a little closer than I think a lot of people think. But Buffalo's clearly the better side here.
Diggs and Davis outscore Titans by themselves, says Devil Doc. Titans can't stop any runs played soft and let Saquon go all over them, says Money Magic. Only way this is close is if Derek goes for 100 plus. And I mean, that is the recipe, right? To get Derrick Henry running the ball, keep Josh Allen on the sidelines. That's a tall order to ask. You're talking about giving Derrick Henry a lot of carries and a lot of looks. And
did you see him get lit up last week, by the way? I've never seen him get lit up like that. It's
rare
before.
that you see
it was
that.
Possible.
It's rare that you see.
Yeah, totally depleted, which was kind of fun to see. But I don't know. I mean, this Titans team is like still solid, but not spectacular. The Bills are a juggernaut. Milwaukee, just wait till Josh Allen gets hurt scrambling around. I said this on our Thursday show. Like, he's the one quarterback when I see running, I'm like not worried about. I'm like, he's bigger than most of the people trying to tackle him. Like, he's moving quickly. I don't mind Josh Allen running the ball. Like, he is a big dude. He's physical. I'm not worried about him getting hurt for whatever reason.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you want him to take a bunch of hits, but he can handle them. He can handle. APC, what's up? You missed a lot of our Tom Brady action, my friend. So we already talked about your boy. So sorry, you just missed it. But welcome in. Would you start Singletary in this one?
Depends on who else you got to run.
Yeah,
back.
I think you have to figure out who else you have because Singletary's fine, but if you have other options,
I don't like Singletary very much.
I think he's fine. I don't think he's not. You shouldn't expect much out of him, but he's fine.
He'll probably go for 100 points this week.
I feel like Tannehill is overrated. Put in the rook, says Chad. I mean, you're still.
No, they're not going to do that. Not for a while, at least.
It's going to be a mid-season or late-season move if they are struggling that they end up moving to the rook for sure.
Tannehill looked great, guys, and I'll get into that later. I have proof that he was amazing in week 1.
Tannehill proved that he had last year after Henry went down. What that song said, he didn't impress me much. That don't impress me much. That's my singing. Shania Twain.
That was nice.
Yeah. It would be for the flex. Him, Chark, or Duvernay. Duvernay had a decent game. 2 touchdowns, obviously, for Duvernay. So I don't think Duvernay recreates that. I think he falls back down to earth from that first initial game, but do I think he gets some looks? Yeah. Chark, I don't think
he's not on the field enough, Duvernay.
Yeah. Tannehill is fine when they miss the kick. It's the OC.
Wait, Duvernay.
Baltimore.
That's what I thought I was like, how did we get to Baltimore though? Oh, it's a flex position.
It's a flex position.
I was missing the boat there. Duvernay is wide receiver 2 on an offense that's never had a good wide receiver 2 fantasy wise. Yes. Duvernay he got good numbers, but he wasn't like his snap percentage was pretty low. I don't expect that moving forward to be a good option, to be honest.
I'll be taking Robert
Woods
honest
on here.
Robert Woods over receptions prop because he used to play for the Bills. Yeah, I mean, I think that could be. I think that could be
Did
interesting.
Robert Woods play for the Bills?
Yeah. Yeah, that's who they. Yeah. Yep.
Why don't I remember that? I mean, he definitely did.
Yeah, he did for sure. All right, so there you go.